Welcome to Bourbon Sauce. Today's episode is called Bottled Up, and it's going to be talking about pet peeves and what happens when you bottle up your anger or resentment, whatever else you got going on in a relationship. So, without further ado, before we jump into things, Ryan, what are you sipping on there, Ryan?
I decided to go with Four Roses single barrel today.
Nice.
It's as far as Four Roses go, if I'm gonna drink Four Roses, I'm going single barrel. It run you about $40-$45, depending on where
Yeah.
you get it. Pretty good.
Nice.
What about you?
I decided to go with the E.H. Taylor barrel proof uncut. This one was like pretty pricey, but it's tasty. It's got a little bite to it, being that it's barrel proof.
Right.
I want to say I found this one for like $250, $300, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I know it was.
It's pretty reasonable compared to what it has
Yeah.
been going for.
Yeah, I still haven't really found it locally. It's definitely just been online. That's the only place I could find it is online so far, because everywhere locally they don't have it. They have small batch,
Right.
but they are also wanting, some of the places want like $100 just for a small batch, which you can find that other places for like $45-$50.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for all that pricing to come back down to reality. But
It seems to be, in some aspects, checking itself a little.
yeah, just a little bit. But so we're going to talk about some pet peeves that we've acquired or encountered, I guess you could say, in dating, or even just in general, because a lot of those just general pet peeves can cross into normal relationships too. Because, like for me, I usually keep a pretty tidy house, and so when I've dated people in the past that don't, like I dated somebody and they left stuff in the washer machine for like days on end, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Isn't that it all smells musty? You know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like I've been sidetracked before and left something in the washer like overnight or something. You got busy and you
Right.
forgot it. But you get in the morning, you're like, oh, shit, I forgot the
Right.
laundry. And you fix that. You don't just like blatantly be like, it's okay. And then next thing you know, what the hell is that smell?
Yeah.
And it's everything in the washer soured.
Right. And I if me personally, I have app enabled on my fucking washer and dryer, which is great because it
Yeah.
sends me a little notification like, hey, your shit's done.
Yeah.
But before that, I used to even just set like an alarm on my phone
Yeah.
to kind of remind me like, hey, you got shit that you're doing.
Right.
Because I get sidetracked doing whatever, maybe yard work or playing video games or cooking or, whatever. I just don't understand how some people are okay with that, and then they'll put it in a dryer, and then their clothes kind of have a little
So what you're saying is
funk.
leaving clothes in the washer too long kind of sours your relationships?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And if you, you like some sour smelling undies, right. you know where that's going to lead. Making other things smell a little,
Ooh.
not like petunias, maybe
Mm.
rotten ones. But that one's one that I've seen, not just in like one relationship. It's been a couple of them, and when it does happen, I'm just like, oh, great. What else are they forgetful about? Like, are they forgetful about washing their body? Or
I mean, honestly, though, at
hygiene?
times, a lot of roles kind of, I don't like calling them roles, but I mean, that's essentially what they used
are.
to be, is roles.
Oh, they are.
Kind of reversed
Yeah.
in a sense. So, it's interesting.
Another one that I think bothers me in relationships is if the trash is full, they expect me to take it out.
Yeah, you're the guy.
I get that role,
Yeah.
but also if I haven't been home and the fucking trash is full and I do come home and I'm like, why is the trash over full? Why didn't anybody take the initiative to just pull the bag out and put it in a trash can? Like what? Like that shit happens even at work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I look it around, I'm like, are we all just above taking the trash out around here?
Or you'll pull the bag and they won't put one back.
yeah, and
I
I'm
mean,
like,
it's like, wait a
"What
minute,
the
you could
fuck?"
have at least taken the 10 seconds to put a bag back in there.
It's like, Jesus Christ, I think those two are more prevalent than anything.
Believe it or not, one of my biggest pet peeves in a relationship has been cooking.
Like, you're the only one that cooks?
No, like, if you can't cook, I don't want you. Like, I cook, right?
Right.
You cook.
Right.
I have no problems cooking, splitting meals, all that stuff, right?
Right.
But if you tend to be more of at home
Mm-hmm.
and I tend to be more at work,
Right.
then it's nice to come home to a cooked meal from time to time. It's not expected daily.
Well, especially if you're a kept
Right.
woman.
Especially if you're a housewife.
Right.
If you're a housewife, I should come home to a clean house.
Yeah.
I should come home to a cooked meal.
Now, as long as those are predetermined and discussed, and you like say, hey, I will take care of you, as long as you're willing to cook, clean, be a housekeeper
Right.
in a sense,
Right.
without being a housekeeper. But that's becomes their job at that point.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dinner with a happy ending would be great too. I'm just saying. I'm good with that.
I think you could pay for that.
I don't need to pay for it.
Huh.
Like I'm just saying, like that should be pre-negotiated as well.
You're still paying for it anyway.
You are.
No,
It's
I think-
always paid for,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that should be predetermined.
Some are a little less.
That
Dogs.
just happened. Yeah, dogs. Ooh, dogs are a great pet peeve for me right now.
Yeah.
Like dogs. My dogs will end a date in 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. So you like to sleep with your dogs habitually.
Well,
And it's kind of necessary with Tank, but
It is with Tank, but it became established
Right.
after my divorce.
yeah.
And it's one of those things you don't just break that 6 and 7 years down the road.
Right. He's like, what the fuck is going on here?
So, I mean, yeah, but
Yeah, so if,
having dogs is a guarantee. Now, after these two, I don't plan to let other dogs sleep in the bed. But having dogs is a guarantee, and
Mhm.
literally the fact that I have dogs has killed dates in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
And I don't like cats.
I am not a cat lover. It's kind of funny because when I was a kid, I did have a cat. So a pet peeve of mine, if somebody does have cats, you better keep up with the cat boxes.
Oh, God, yes.
Because if you don't, and that stench emanates throughout the house, game over.
Or if you got a male cat and he's spraying everywhere.
marking.
I should not walk into your house if you're a cat lady and we're gonna hook up and smash or we're gonna have dinner or whatever. I should not walk into your house and the first thing I smell is cat piss.
No, that's disgusting. Another pet peeve when people are cat owners is they don't take care of their cats, and the fact of, like, if they're gonna have claws, at
Yes.
least put those claw protectors or something so they can't just destroy stuff in the house, because cats are fucking notorious for destroying things, whether it's couch arms or fucking anything that they decide that is a scratching post, and then they just go to town.
Right.
Like, you see my camper,
Mm-hmm.
the person I was dating at the time had 2 cats, and the one decided it wanted to fucking use the vinyl arms on the couch as a scratching post, so it's just completely destroyed. So eventually I'll have to replace that, but
Another big pet peeve for me.
yeah.
Punctuality.
Oh yeah.
Punctuality
That's
is
rude
huge,
as fuck.
right? So I am that type of person. Like, let's delve into just how bad punctuality gets me, right? If I'm not going to be on time, you're getting a phone call or a text to let
Yep.
you know I'm running late, right?
That's called common courtesy.
Right? Common courtesy. But like, say I show up at a party and stuff's supposed to kick off at 5:30, right?
Yep.
And I'm there, and then next thing you know, we're waiting on somebody else to show up, and they've not notified or nothing, and then they finally text 30 minutes later, oh, we'll be there in about 20 minutes, and we hold everything for those individuals. By the time they get there, I'm done with the party, and I just want to go home.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I also have dated girls that are a little high maintenance. So I would kind of fib about the time we needed to be somewhere, so that way they would be ready on time.
Yes, I actually got really good at that.
Because some girls they like to be a little prim and proper, and they want to be all nice looking and
Nothing
take their
wrong
time.
with that,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
but
But
plan accordingly.
Plan accordingly. Don't wait 20 minutes before we need to be out the door to say, I'm going to start showering and getting, because damn well you're not going to be ready in 20
Right.
minutes.
If you know you take an hour to get ready to go to dinner, then plan accordingly
Yeah.
and take an hour.
So I also don't, on the other side of that, I don't like being rushed. And I know other people in relationships don't like being rushed either. So that comes to that whole punctuality and proper planning thing is like, okay, we have to be at dinner by 5. We know you're going to take forever to get fucking ready. You should probably start at 3 o'clock. So that way, if I have to take a snack eat before we go because I know I'm going to start getting hangry.
But God help you if they're done and ready before you.
Yeah. But that's very rare when that does
But
happen.
then when it does happen, it's like,
yeah.
it's, no.
And
It's
like,
just,
are we going yet?
Aren't you ready? Aren't you ready?
Why did I get ready so early? What do you mean so early? Like, are you kidding me? I'll be ready in 5 minutes. Hold on.
Right.
Because for a guy, it's super easy. We don't have to worry about makeup. Half the time, we don't even have to worry about doing our hair. Just throw on a hat and go.
Right. I don't have to wear makeup.
Most of the time, now that I don't even really shave, I don't even have to worry about that. But back in the day, it was like, you do the normal shit. You shower, shave, and then you're ready to roll.
Right.
Now it's just.
And if I want to be really quick, I just jump in the shower and hit all the hot spots.
Yeah. And then just cover it with Axe body spray.
Right. Or cologne.
Whatever your
Yeah.
demographic deems necessary. Another thing about owners of animals that drives me kind of nuts is if your animal goes to the bathroom in the house
Mm-hmm.
and then you expect someone else to clean it up for you, or you just don't clean it up. Because
thank you.
I've been in some people's houses and it's like, what is that? Is that like fake poop in the corner over there? You know what I mean? You're like,
Are we in Ted's apartment right now? Which of you shit in the corner?
Yeah. So he's just like, all right, well, thanks for coming out and letting me meet you. I will see you never. It's just I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit, I think, when it comes to people that own pets, and they will open a door for different pet peeves that I don't think that I normally would have had otherwise, because I'm a decent pet owner. I'm not like the greatest pet owner, but I expect if you're going to own a pet, you're going to take care of that pet like it's your own kid or whatever.
Right.
And not neglect it. And I think that's another one that drives me kind of crazy is when you see an animal and you could tell they've been neglected and you're just like, why do you even have this dog? Why do you even have this cat? Like, why do you even have whatever it is, hamster, gerbil, snake, whatever animal it happens to be in their apartment or house?
9 times out of 10, if it's in their house and it's neglected, it's because they don't know how to take care of it. And 2, they have it because if it's not there, then they are 100% truly alone usually.
Well, and I think that says something, too, about the way they're going to treat the relationship. Because if they're neglectful to an animal, how do you think they're going to treat you as a person of interest? At some point, they're just going to assume that you're going to do all the work for them, and they're just kind of there to enjoy your company, I guess. And you have to initiate all communication, all fucking sex, all everything.
Yeah.
Like that becomes annoying as fuck in itself. So,
I mean, so this is funny. I find this to be funny, but the more I think about it, the more it might actually be a pet peeve. You know how you start trying to date women, right? And single moms, right?
Mhm.
And like you read their bios and they're like, I have X amount of children and they come first, right? And then it's like, I meet somebody and I'm like, I have 2 dogs, they come first. And they're like, what?
Right.
No, they're animals. Oh, wait a minute. What? They're animals.
Well, I mean,
But
yes.
for me, they're closest thing to children.
They are animals
They're my family.
but
right?
a lot of pets become family members.
Well, and you
or
figure
extensions.
the shit I've been through with those 2.
Right.
Yeah, come on, Felicia.
Yeah.
But I just find that hilarious. It's like my children come first, but then when it's like you've built this bond with this animal, right? Who's been through more shit with you than anybody else, right? And they want it to be treated as such and be pushed to the corner.
That's called hypocrisy.
Yes, I agree.
I
I find it funny.
Yeah, it is a little funny. Another thing,
So, fun fact for any female listeners out there: if you ever want to date me and you don't like animals, just keep
on going.
keep going. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, throw a dog a bone.
Yep.
Another thing I think is a girl that wears too much makeup is a pet peeve of mine.
I agree 100%. I believe, and you all can comment, on Instagram after I post out there
Mhm.
and let us know your thoughts on it. But I agree 100%. Makeup is to accentuate beauty, not cover or mask it all.
Now,
You should be using it to accent.
they do have stuff that's called cover up, and that's usually to help cover blemishes, acne, whatever.
I get that.
That, like you mouthed off one too many times when you got punched in the eye, you got to cover that black eye up, But
I get that.
I get the idea, and some girls feel more beautiful when they put on their face. But to me, it's like you're hiding your insecurities.
I should not go to bed with you and see one person and wake up the next morning and like run for the door
It's a
like
total-
I just woke up to Medusa. Okay, your mascara's ran and everything's cracking. No, thank you. If your makeup on your face is so thick that it's cracking the next morning,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's a big problem. If you are so insecure with yourself, that's a big red flag for me anyway. But I don't mind when girls do simple stuff. And I always used to tell girls, I was like, less is more, And they're like,
Yeah.
well, what do you mean less is more? I'm like, less is more for me because I don't necessarily want your face to transplant on my shirt when we hug or snuggle later. Or if you don't wash your fucking makeup off and you go to bed,
it's all over the pillowcase.
I don't want it all over goddamn pillowcases.
I mean, that's fair. Like I get it. Like you're going to a formal function or something like that, right? That's understandable.
Mhm.
Like they're really trying to do the full
Right, yeah.
blown, right? I get that. But if we're going to dinner at Texas Roadhouse,
Yep.
and it takes you 45 minutes to do your makeup, I'm questioning myself at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's something to be said about makeup in itself. Now, if we're smashing and you have your makeup on, I'm going to automatically, in my head, be like, all right, we're going to make a mess in the bed, whether it's going to be body fluids, makeup, whatever. So I'm already mentally prepared for that.
I mean, you should be mentally prepared for bodily fluids anyways.
But I'm just saying, in that aspect of them having makeup on, then I make an exception. But if it's
Right.
like we're day to day and you just decide you're going to be lazy and go to bed with your makeup on, like, first of all, that's gross because that's poor skincare.
right.
Hygiene wise, to me, that's like it. That's like me sweating in the fucking yard all day and then just jumping in bed without showering. That would be disgusting.
It's very disgusting.
So I'm like, why would you not want to wash your face? It's just weird. And I get sometimes you're too tired, quote unquote too tired, but they make makeup wipes.
Yeah.
They simplify the process for these girls, so they really have no excuse other than just being purely lazy.
I mean, I've seen some people fall asleep on the couch or something,
That's different.
and then at that point, like they get up and they're not in the right thought
Mhm.
process, and they go to bed. Like I get that.
Yeah, I get
right?
that.
There's
There's
times
always
there's exceptions
Yeah.
to every rule.
Of course.
Right?
I agree.
He's not just being an asshole. Neither am I. There's
Mm.
exceptions to every rule.
I mean, sometimes I'm just an asshole.
I mean,
But
I
in this
agree.
case, this is not. This is just
Exactly.
kind of like, this is like a guide of things not to do. To almost every guy, I would imagine, has similar pet peeves or similar
I'm
boundaries that they don't want crossed.
I would agree. But I'm curious, has anybody brought up a pet peeve, a woman ever brought up a pet peeve of hers that you just habitually crossed over or stepped on?
Yes. So I've dated people in the past where they didn't like how handsy I am at times.
That's
Mhm.
like the number one thing for me is like,
Mhm.
you're just too handsy. And it's like,
Right. If I
bitch,
like you,
no, it's like, bitch, my love language is touch.
Mhm.
Physical touch is my number one love language.
Right.
Okay? I'm hands on. Daddy needs to touch, okay? Hello, I have dogs. I
Right.
need squeaky toys. I'm telling you, if you put a squeaky toy in a boob,
Oh,
I'm
guys-
done. I'm
guys
done.
would be-
I'm done. I'm done.
never leave the house.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, fun
So-
bag. They're called fun bags for a reason.
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
I think I've had that one. Farting. You know.
Oh, you can forget it.
Yeah, because with Thor, he's a fart machine anyway. So, and depending on what I eat, sometimes we play battle farts in bed. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, but I fart and laugh about it. So
Yeah, most girls don't find it that funny. Sometimes they do, and then they shockingly have
retaliate.
horrific smelling farts.
They retaliate, or you're sitting around and all of a sudden this silent thing.
Yeah, they
just
sit on
sneaks
your
up.
lap and
Yeah.
then they giggle and they think it's and I'm like, yeah, that was good. That was funny. You got me. Just don't do it when I'm going to town,
Right.
going down there. I think because I used to be super OCD. I think when I first got out of the military, it was really bad, and so sometimes I would get complaints about that it was so ridiculously over the top because my house, I mean, everything had a place all the time. And
Right.
if anything was out of place ever, I would lose my mind. Which now I'm not that. I mean, I still am OCD, but it's not anywhere near what it used to be. Which is good because it makes life a lot easier to live, less stress for me, less anxiety for me.
You still have quite a bit of OCD.
Yeah, but it's not bad though.
It was. I got a good dose of your OCD when it come to your bourbon shelf.
Oh yeah.
You've rearranged that things like 20 times at this point, trying to get it just the way you want it.
Yep.
And I feel like you eyeball the shit out of mine constantly, just wanting to redo it.
It is a little haphazard, but
I mean, all
it's
the
your
tall
shelf.
stuff's up top.
Yeah, it's your shelf. I don't care. If it was my shelf, it would be different.
I kind of want to let you loose on it just to see what you would do one time. Just
See,
one
now,
time.
if it were me 20 years ago, I would have made mine alphabetical and by size. It would have been ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's
now
a
it's-
little ridiculous.
Now it's just aesthetically pleasing. to
Pleasing,
me.
yeah.
And I don't care what the brand name is or anything else. It's just as long as they're all kind of similar size-wise,
Yeah.
then I'm okay. And then I have to dust it because this room gets dusty as hell. So,
Ooh. Do you have any sexual pet peeves?
no,
None?
nope,
None?
mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
I have one.
Yeah.
Don't inflict pain on my nipples.
See, my nipples don't have much feeling, so I don't have that issue. I feel like God knew I was going to be a dude and was like, there's no need to put any sensory things in his nipples.
I have enough to where it's like
Yeah.
at times during sex, it's like you pinch my nipple and I'm just like, I just want to smack you.
Yeah.
It's
I've
like
dated
it's
a
not a
person
good
that was
feeling
like
for me.
they wanted to do that and bite on. I'm like, what are you doing? That's all. I looked at him like, what are you doing? I'm like, it doesn't turn you on. I'm like, no, obviously, I'm a dude. Like my nipples do nothing for me.
It's not really a turn on for me.
No.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If they want to play around, fine, go ahead. But
Yeah.
like, don't inflict pain on my nipples.
Because I'm just gonna flick your nipple right
yeah,
back.
because then I want to like. No, I don't even. I'm not flicking your nipple.
I will.
Like, I'm gonna flick you on the forehead like you're a dog. Like
Or
bad
flick 'em
dog.
on the, flick 'em
Bad
in the
dog.
clit.
Bad dog.
Hit
No,
him in the
no,
areas that are
no.
super sensory.
No, because I like those areas.
Yeah, but it's.
But if I
tit for
flick you,
tat.
if you mess with my nipple in a way I don't like, and I flick you in the forehead, that's a little more degrading than if I flick your clit or flick your nipple.
yeah.
Because wait a
can see
minute,
that.
did you just flick me in the forehead? Yeah. Oh, got your attention, didn't
Ooh,
I?
You know what another good pet peeve of mine is?
What's that?
Speaking of treating you like a child, is when there are children around, if the opposite person doesn't know how to compartmentalize and then argue away from that kid. That is a huge no-no for me because, like, if my kid is around, I don't want him to experience any sort of angst or turmoil or be involved in any of those adult conversations because there's no reason that kid should be put under that kind of strain. Because I saw enough of it as myself as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I know how I felt.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm
I
like,
know exactly what you mean.
so it's like, don't fucking argue in front of the kids. Like, sure, you can have a little argument, like a small one, have a disagreement. That's fine. But a full-blown, like, yelling, arguing, fucking cussing at each other, calling somebody a prick or whatever in front of kids, all that does is, there's a couple things that it does, right? one, it shows them toxic love.
Yep.
Another thing
100%.
it does is it shows them that they're allowed to be disrespectful to you, and you're still going to stick around. And that's not good for kids to have that idea about their significant others, because they're going to go in relationships later on in life, and they're going to think that it's okay to talk to their significant other like that because mom and dad did it, so it's okay.
Right.
And it's not. Adults are supposed to continually grow and learn how to have those conversations in a manner in which you're still respectful to each other. Like, you can have disagreements and not see it eye to eye, but there's no need for the yelling, the bashing, the name calling, and all that shit, especially in front of kids.
I feel like in a relationship, you should come to an agreement, right?
Yeah.
For instance, let's say...
It's called compromise.
Right? No, not even compromise. Let's just say you pre-establish, hey, every time you raise your voice or yell or curse and start an argument, not a discussion, an argument, you start stripping articles of clothing.
I would love for that to ever work, but you know as well as I do, when a woman is mad, there is no fucking way she's going to have any rationality.
You know what's funny is with my ex-wife, I just never even cared to strip. But that's one thing I would love to have in a relationship, to actually have that bond with that individual to where it's like she's mad and I'm like, okay, you're mad. Well, I'm gonna Magic Mike your ass right now.
Well, it's like telling a woman to calm down. That's the last thing you should ever do. It's like, you ever watch those? There used to be a thing on where a guy would throw a Snickers bar at his wife or a box of tampons.
Yeah.
I feel like those are seriously accurate.
I feel like you should have you know how you have first aid kits and all these emergency kits?
Yeah.
I feel like you should have your once a month emergency kit. So as soon as you have that once a month and you go to your special hiding place and you break out the chocolates and the tampoons, because you're tampooning.
Yeah.
Oh, a huge pet peeve for me, since we were talking about the arguing in front of kids, is belittling.
Belittling the kid or
no.
the adults?
Belittling in a relationship, period.
Okay.
It's one thing for you to have a discussion or an argument, right? But for me, a pet peeve is there should be no reason you ever are degrading or talking down to the other person.
Oh, I agree. That's just called mutual respect at
Right.
that point. If
But
there's no
if
mutual
you're
respect,
belittling,
then you gotta go.
Hey, why don't you grow up here? Why don't you grow up here? Why don't you grow up here? Kind of shit like that. You're belittling them, right?
Well, that's emasculating too.
It is, right? But then, we won't go into that rabbit hole. But I can go into the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, right?
There's certain
Both
things
ways.
Because, girls don't want to be told to man up, if they're being emotional or whatever.
I mean, if they're a feminist, they do.
I don't fucking care about them. They don't exist in my life. They don't exist in my world.
I mean, currently in today's society, they don't really exist anymore at all.
I live in my own little world where all that weird shit doesn't exist, even though it does, and I just kind of ignore it. I just turn a blind eye to it.
Ah, you're Bubble Boy. I knew I'd figure out what you were. You're Bubble Boy. Nothing gets within his bubble.
Outside of relationships, it's a pet peeve at dealerships?
Dealerships? Like setting with my car for 8 months and still having it fixed?
That's one thing. But
won't give me a loaner
because
I don't make 6 figures a year?
So...
There's
two things that I have a pet peeve of at a dealership. One, being ignored, like I can't afford whatever the fuck is on the lot.
Yep.
Or being overbearing and fucking in my face as soon as I walk on the lot, and you're just trying to sell me whatever the fuck it is.
Yes, sir.
So it's like those are two big pet peeves at a dealership for me. I guess any store, really.
So for me, to caveat on that, I have a big pet peeve with rude people in restaurants. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And it goes both ways.
Right.
If I have a rude waiter or waitress, your tip is going to, by the time I leave, I'm going to be at a point where I may leave you a penny. And I'm leaving you a penny because, in my mind, a penny is more of an insult than leaving you nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas now, if I
A
see
penny for your thought.
I see that you are a hardworking waiter or waitress, and there's another table that is rude, I have been known to get up and follow that person out and be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, are you just a cheap bastard, or what? Because you didn't tip your waitress and she
Yeah.
worked her ass off, or he worked his ass off for you."
Now I know, some people have off days or bad days, and you can usually tell if they're having an off day or a bad day versus being just
Right,
rude or
right,
shitty
right.
at their job.
Yeah.
I think that's just a little different scenario, but
It is. And what is it?
pessimism,
Pessimism.
super negative Nancy's.
Right. So pessimism. I ain't got time for your bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
I get told all the time that I'm just too happy.
How dare you?
And like in the last 2 weeks working on that remodel job, I got
Mhm.
told like, dude, it is 8 a.m. and you are like a cricket on cocaine. You're just like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going?
You are though in
Right?
the morning. You are ridiculously too much. Like I need 7 cups of coffee in order to be able to deal with that level of fucking let's get to it. Now, if it depends on what we're doing.
Right.
But just in general, I'm like, good God, man.
But
Let me get a coffee in.
and it's
Or a Red
just-
Bull or something.
It's like I set up and it's like pew
Yeah.
before I've even had the first cup of coffee,
Mm.
right? So that for me is a big thing.
Yeah, that's pretty funny though, because there are a lot of people out there, and I'm starting. I think as the older I get, the more I can relate to the no talking until 9 in the morning, because I need that much time to really fucking adjust to getting my mind set, especially when I'm at work,
Right.
getting in my like work mode,
Right.
because it takes a lot of patience at my job.
Yeah.
To not just tell everybody they're fucking retards or cussing them out and ending up fired.
Right.
So it takes me a minute to get warmed up to being, oh, hey, I'm at work. I got to fucking shift my whole mindset, my whole demeanor. And it feels kind of fake, realistically, because it's not who I want to be. Like, I feel like I should love my job, but I don't love my job. I used to love my job, but I don't anymore. And I think that's just wear and tear of being the abuse, the constant, like, here, go here, last minute, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It just starts to wear on me.
See, that's a pet peeve of mine, believe it or not.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy and love what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you need to find something else.
Oh, yeah.
For me,
Right.
that's like an internal pet peeve. Like,
Oh, yeah.
right? So I have been doing the same job
Mm-hmm.
for the last 3.5 years,
Yeah, you've been fortunate.
right?
Yeah.
The job I'm currently doing, if it was an MOS I could have had, I would have permanently changed to that MOS.
You know what's funny is that is an MOS in the Air Force.
Yeah, but in the Army it is not.
Mm-hmm.
And it has allowed me to have it is the sole reason I stayed in NCO,
Yeah.
did not go warrant, did not go officer, right? It is the sole driving reason
Yeah.
because I was able to assist soldiers in progressing through their careers.
Which
Right?
is an important thing as an NCO that I think has been lost on a lot of the NCOs today in the military in general is your role is to help mold those
Mm-hmm.
below you to
That's a
become
huge pet peeve.
better at their jobs.
Huge pet peeve.
And they're just like, no, nobody trained me, so fuck them.
I believe you
what?
have in the Army. My opinion, and if you're listening in and you disagree, I don't really care if this is my opinion. Okay,
Right?
opinion. All right,
Yeah.
everybody.
It's not
has them,
facts.
right? Opinion. My opinion
It's like
is,
an asshole.
is you have NCOs,
Yep.
which non-commissioned officers, for those listening in that
yeah.
are not privy to this, and then you have what I like to call sergeants. Okay.
Or just E5, E6,
no.
E7.
I just call them sergeants.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I just cap them at sergeants,
Yeah.
right? If you're a non-commissioned officer, your job is to lead, mentor, and train soldiers and mold them into becoming
NCOs.
you or surpassing you.
Yeah.
Right?
You would think.
Okay. As a sergeant, you are just an overpaid button clicker. Okay.
Yep.
So that for me, like I believe the Army should bring back those Spec 4, Spec 5 ranks, right? Because you were like you had a Spec 5,
Mm-hmm.
he was a E5, But as a Spec 5, he was specialized. So, like, he was still a button clicker.
Right.
He didn't have a squad. He didn't have a
Well,
team.
they're corporals or whatever.
Well, no. Let's not stay in your lane. Air Force, stay in your lane. All
I'm
right.
just saying.
No,
they're
'cause
buck sergeants in the
no.
Air Force.
There are, but what I'm saying is like
Were.
used to in the Army, you had two lines,
Mm.
kind of like the Marine Corps. When you hit E7 in the Marine Corps, it actually splits.
Yeah.
Air Force does it too. It's at E7 or E8, you actually kind of split.
Sort of. If you're
Right.
going to have a diamond in the Air Force and you're going to be like a first sergeant,
Yes.
then you split off in a different managerial role.
And Marines do similar, right?
Versus,
Whereas the Army used to
or like
have
an HR role, I guess.
right, like the
whatever
Army
it is.
used to have, you would hit Specialist 4, right?
Mhm.
Spec 4. And then you would go Spec 5 or you'd go Sergeant. You'd go Spec 6 or you'd go Staff Sergeant, right? But
Mhm.
once you went Spec 5 or Sergeant, that's it. You were in that line.
So you're either going to be a specialty.
So you're either going to be a special SME, more or less,
Right.
right? And
Basically,
you weren't going to have
tailoring
soldiers.
yourself to become
Right.
a warrant.
More, well, yeah, because they didn't have warrants then, right? So
Mhm.
that's what it essentially was.
Right. And that makes sense.
That's what they should go back to, honestly.
I think they should go back to a lot of things in the military that they're not doing because they want to be corporatized anymore, and that's a pet peeve of mine. Is that
Mm-hmm.
if you want to allow your military to be strong, the strongest it possibly can, why would you ever fucking put these strange limitations on them where you can't discipline your soldiers or airmen or Marines or whatever the way they need to be?
I feel like we should go back to like Spartan style, where you
Oh,
beat the
yeah.
shit out of each other,
Tops
and the
off.
strongest survive, right?
I like
Tops
the,
off, strongest survives.
I
That's
used to
it.
love that. Like, let's do some wall-to-wall counseling
Yeah.
here. Take tops off.
Now-
I'm no longer E7 or whatever.
Right.
You're no longer E2, E3, whatever. If you can beat my ass, then
Discussion's over.
Discussion's
Right.
over.
Now, see, that's a pet peeve of mine right there.
Mhm.
Okay, so a pet peeve of mine, and it still resonates today.
Yep.
Like, I have taught so many counseling classes.
Yeah.
Through across the Army, like to the point now, like I provide the shit for other people to teach it. When it comes to, and this actually translates very well over into the civilian sector.
Okay.
Each of your employees are different. Each of your soldiers are different, right?
Agreed.
As an NCO or as a manager, if you do not understand your employees and the differences in them and how to approach them, you shouldn't be in that position. Some
Agreed.
soldiers need it black and white on paper.
Yep.
Some soldiers need that wall to wall.
Yep.
And some soldiers just need a stern talking.
Yep.
Or a good smoke session.
Yep.
Right? If you can't understand them,
Yep.
you don't need to be where you are.
I agree. And that's the problem, I think,
Huge
in the
pet-
military now is they're too promotion happy. There used to be a thing where it would say on your ratings whether it was promotable, not promotable, promote now,
Promote ahead of
or
peers.
like there was
Right,
different ratings,
yes.
right? They got rid of all that shit.
Yes.
And it's like,
And then they limited the senior rater on how many top blocks they
Yeah.
could give.
and I'm like, so wait a minute. So now you're just going to let any chump on the street become a fucking NCO? And
Well-
they may not have the mental capacity to lead? Come on.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, you
that's
can make E5 and E6 in no time.
That's the dumbest shit ever in any of the branches is that they don't really look anymore at the whole soldier or whole military concept of like, is this person going to benefit our organization if we promote them? Or are they going to hinder or hurt us if we promote them? Because there are some people that are spiteful as fuck when they get promoted. They'll all of a sudden create this toxic leadership. And that within itself is a negative thing that should not ever fucking happen. So it's like, I've had bad leaders, I've had great leaders, and I've had some mediocre leaders. And the best leaders that I know are the ones that you talk about where they got to learn their people and talk to you on a personal level and figure out where they can help you and help you grow.
Yes.
Because that's literally your fucking role as an NCO. In
It
the
is your
military.
fucking role.
These people now, they're just like, no, I'm just coming to work and I fucking collect my paycheck and I go home. Fuck the kids below me that I'm in charge of. Like, dude, you're the raider. Like, shouldn't you know who the fuck you're raiding on?
See, that's one thing I love about my current job is I put NCOICs on blast.
Yeah.
Like soldiers will be like, I haven't been given an opportunity for this or the opportunity for that, an opportunity for this. And then we'll have these big old meetings, right? And I'm like, hey, man, right there in front of the first sergeant and the sergeant major, right? Like, hey, man, so why aren't you letting your soldiers attend air assault? Or why aren't you letting your soldiers attend airborne? Or why can't your soldiers go here or here or here or here? And then it's like,
well, and now,
well, we
see,
can and note because then it's
I get
we
the
can have
idea
it's
behind
like,
that,
we
but
can have
there's-
that discussion offline. And I'm like, no. You're in the NCOIC
right.
conference right now. Let's have that discussion now because I want to know why your section compared to these other four
Right.
sections can't let their soldiers do this.
No.
Which then leads to me believe that you can't manage your section as an
Oh.
NCOIC.
See, we're going down a fucking
We
path
are.
here.
Like I had a good pet peeve to bring us back, but
That
we're down the rabbit hole.
That one is a discussion for later because we can
Oh, we need to have a panel in for that topic.
I think it would be good to have a Marine, a Navy, and
Even you
some
know what? We could
officers-
even bring in a coastie. We could even bring in a coastie.
Nobody cares about what they have to say. That's like bringing the Space Force in. Nobody cares about them either.
There's a Space Force?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. My MOS could cross over like instantly.
Yeah.
I should have done that. No, I shouldn't have because
Because
I
I
have the
think
greatest
now
job in
my
the world.
job would technically fall under Space Force because SATCOM is in space.
Well, I mean, technically, you could cross over. It stays. They
Yeah.
still have it regular side, but you can cross over to
it's-
Space Force.
It's dumb.
But
That's
I have the
dumbest shit
greatest.
ever.
I have the greatest job in the Army right now,
Yeah.
and anybody can say anything else.
Yeah, giving hand jobs for free is a great job.
Hey, everybody walks away with a smile. By God, I don't care. Don't care. They all walk away with a smile.
Pet peeves, I think.
What are some other pet peeves you've been
Oh,
hit with
God.
that you've been hit with
No,
by other people?
I don't necessarily know. I think when I was younger, I was kind of. Oh. Well, my driving definitely drives some people crazy. I know that for a fact because I've dated some people that have real bad anxiety about like
Yeah.
the roads and everything.
Yeah.
And I used to be really bad about this, especially when I have a sports car.
Yeah.
I like whip in and out of
Yeah,
traffic.
yeah. I
really
get that.
fucking
I mean,
close.
it's a sports car. That's what you got to do. That's
Yeah,
like
but,
with a
you know.
motorcycle, right? So I understand that. I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. You don't like my driving.
It depends because if we're in Rusty, I feel like the bomb's gonna fall out and I'm gonna be Flintstoning anytime.
Well, no, I was driving. We were driving somewhere, and we were in a different vehicle, and you were like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" Like I could see you over there rubbing the temples.
Were we in your fucking GMC?
It might have been, but
Either way,
yeah.
you
You were like, "Jesus Christ, you!"
I think that's the one where
I feel like I gave you a taste of your own medicine, and you realized it, and you were like, "Ah!"
because I
'cause you were
think
like,
that vehicle had
Jesus.
something weird feeling too. In
Not the
hub.
GMC.
Yeah, 'cause
GMC
you
was
had
good.
that, No,
No.
you had that tire
Nope,
that
the
had the
GMC
weight that was off or something.
Nope, that was Rusty.
I don't remember.
GMC, I was whipping in and out of traffic at like excessive speed.
Were we drinking that night?
No. We do not
Ooh.
drink and drive.
I do all the time. I don't fucking care. I'll admit it. That's probably somebody's pet peeve, but I don't give a shit. I try not to get too intoxicated because of reasons. I've had problems in the past.
I
but
do have a huge pet peeve in relationships. Huge.
What?
Huge.
no licking your butthole.
No. Our problem is our problem.
Oh yeah.
Our problem, and let
Yeah.
me raise the voice so everybody can hear this volume
Fucking
level, right?
Blow out the
And let me
speakers.
even go like Zeus tonnage on you, ladies and gentlemen. Our problem is our problem.
Yeah.
Okay? That is an A-B conversation. Your
brought that up
friends
before in
and
the
your
other
family
episode.
need to see their ass out of it.
Yeah.
The reason being, and we did bring it up in the previous episode,
Yeah,
is
love drunk.
because you all may get through it, but your friends and your family
They
are
will
going to
hold on to that
hold
shit,
to
yeah.
that because they're not through it. They're not over it.
You know what another pet peeve of mine is? It's not related to relationships.
What's that?
Paying for a service and not getting what you paid for.
Oh my God, no! If I did not get what I paid for, you better believe I am hounding to no end.
And I'm owed
now-
something in return.
Exactly, 100%. It depends
Yeah.
on the service, right? If it's a
Hey,
service,
if I pay for a blowjob and you don't finish, I want my money back.
I mean, if I pay for a blowjob and
I'm just saying, you suck dick at sucking dick.
I'm just saying, I don't think you can do it. It's just not a thing with me. I have a psychological blocker. We won't even go down that route.
No, that's a weird one. I don't want to hear about.
Yeah, we won't go. We won't even go
Nobody
down
wants
that
to hear
rabbit
about
hole.
that one.
There's some people want to hear about that psychological blocker,
Yeah,
and then some
those are
people want
that
to
are
probably challenge it.
Psychoanalysts.
Yeah, right. You know, my behavioral health has psychoanalyzed it,
Yeah.
but
Either way, other pet peeves that if you're paying for something and you don't get what you pay for, I don't care what it is.
I tend to be more if it's something I am knowledgeable in. I'm knowledgeable in the turnaround. I'm knowledgeable in how it's supposed to be delivered, and it's not. That's when it really hits my pet peeve, right?
Yeah.
For instance, like if I go to a restaurant and I order a steak medium rare, right?
Oh God.
All right. If I order it medium rare
And,
and that steak
well
shows
done.
up medium well or well done,
Right.
it is going back. That
Yeah.
is not a question. It is going back. It is not the waiter or waitress's fault.
Oh,
It
that's
is-
the cook. Yeah.
It is going back,
Yeah.
right?
But you stand a chance of it coming back fucked up again.
And if it comes back fucked
then
up
you're
again,
just gonna
I've
be
gone.
hungry.
No. Oh no. I eat the side dish. They
Yeah.
leave the side dish so I can eat the sides.
Oh,
right?
God, no.
They take my meat back.
See,
so
at that
when
point,
it comes
that's
out
when
right,
I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm done. You guys are paying for this. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else where I can at least get some
if
food.
it comes back fucked up the second time, I'm done. But I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to talk
out.
to the
I'm
cook.
not waiting for a fucking another hour or however
Yes,
long
agreed,
it's gonna take.
agreed.
Because they're
Yes.
like, I need this on a fucking rush because
Yeah.
you fucked it up, and they're like, all right, and then they fuck it up because they're rushing, and you're
Yeah.
like, dude,
I mean, I'm sorry, but medium rare. If you fuck it up because you're on a rush, then you just need to quit cooking.
that's why I get everything rare. Because I know even if they cook it just a little longer, it's still gonna be edible to me. Because if it's anything more than medium rare for me, I feel like you burnt the shit out of it.
You know what behavioral health taught me about myself?
That you like raw food.
That I'm kind of a dick at times because I order.
You took behavioral health to teach you that.
Yeah, because I order shit medium rare when I can't eat it anymore, so I don't order anything medium rare because
That's like one of the hardest things to get.
I
is
know,
medium rare.
but it was like apparently like I subconsciously had this little sliver of dickness, and it was only towards how you cooked your meat.
that makes sense. I could see that.
I mean, I take a lot of pride in cooking meat,
Yeah, but that's smoking meat. That's different.
smoking, cooking. I can go out there and smoke your ass a steak.
Yeah, I don't like smoked steak though. I like
Yeah.
smoked brisket. My
I-
brother tried to make a smoked steak for me one time. I thought it was nasty.
It
I
all
don't-
depends
I
on how you do it.
I just don't like smoked. I don't like steak smoked.
Well,
It's
because
weird.
I mean, most
I
people
do like
don't
my.
expect a steak
I like
to be
my
smoked.
old fashioned smoked, and Courtney did that the other day.
They
at
are good
at
They
DRC,
are good.
and it
They are
turned out
good. They are good.
prime.
We
delicious.
still have. You haven't gone to the red phone booth, have you?
No.
We have to go at
Yeah,
some point.
But you got to wear nice clothes to go in there.
Okay. Are you saying I don't have nice clothes?
You can't wear overalls in there.
Bullshit.
I'm just saying.
Bullshit. I'm wearing overalls
I
because they're
will-
nice clothes. I'll put a blazer on over top of them.
That's
And
church
we will
going.
take a picture and post it on Instagram. By God.
It's church going clothes, so I could wear it. In the red
Exactly.
phone booth.
God said it's okay. You hush your mouth.
Either way, Thor, get out of here. This dog, I swear to God, he acts like he don't
An-
get no goddamn
You know what?
attention.
Another pet peeve of mine?
What?
Fake shyness.
Fake shyness?
Yes.
What the fuck is that? I
Oh.
don't even know what that is.
Okay, we're gonna delve into this because
You
you
gotta
had
hurry
some
up on this. We're getting long.
we're gonna get long. All right, because I'm a little long in the shaft, anyways. All right, so fake shyness, right? So believe it or not, it's actually a real thing, and that's where women and men fake the I'm shy at first, and I just need, I'm just not there yet, and I'm shy at first, right? And they don't want to talk and communicate. That is a huge pet peeve for me. Just be your damn self, because they're afraid of rejection, right? Or being judged.
I guess.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are people out there who actually are kind of set back, right? But in that
If it's their
hang on.
normal state, then
No.
you can tell.
That's what I'm saying.
You
It's
know,
a fake shyness.
right.
Like They're like they're
Playing coy,
They're playing coy because
right.
they're afraid of being judged, or they're afraid of being.
Listen, if you're a cockmongrel, just
Rejected,
be a
right?
cockmongrel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I
Don't
look at it
hide
this way: like you can actually tell. Like I went on a date with a woman, right? We had a great time,
Are you
right?
sure it was a woman?
Yes, I'm sure.
Not a robot?
100% sure it was a woman, right? Had a great time, right? And because I don't articulate and communicate the best, that started to, I guess, kind of bug her.
Okay.
That I have an issue with the fake shyness thing,
Mm.
right? But in reality, for her, what she was doing is she evaluates and kind of evaluates to see if that initial meeting is even worth her really opening up, right? So it's not a fake shyness or anything. It's more
She's
of
being reserved.
exactly.
I can
and see,
understand
I
that.
can too, right? And it's where it's my lack of vocabulary or lack of articulation that sometimes will get me in trouble because it's like I can't articulate or formulate the correct sentence to explain what I'm trying to explain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like, if you are playing coy and dumb and kind of shit, I don't
Yeah.
have time for that. You're
I think that
wasting my time. You're wasting my time.
Yeah, I
Period.
think that just comes with time where you're going to learn how to articulate those things.
I mean, it's not
Because
that
I know when I was
I
in my
articulate
20s.
shit very well with you. And like on this podcast.
That's for guys,
No,
though.
like
you know
on
what
this
I mean?
podcast, what I just said, I articulated very well. But
in
in
a sense, yes.
yeah, but in the initial moment when I'm trying to text or articulate it,
Oh, text is the worst.
I don't
I
have the
fool.
words or the vocabulary at
Talk
that time.
about
right?
a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, I hate
Arguing-
texting. I'm not kidding.
Arguing
I hate
over
texting.
text.
No, fuck you, bye bye. We ain't nope.
Oh, my God.
Nope. If you don't
I-
understand something over text, you fucking call.
I'm like, can we have this discussion later? And then they keep going through text. I'm like, can we have this discussion later? It's like, one, I see there's two problems here. One, you don't respect the fact that I'm just asking you so that we can do this fucking later. And two,
Yes, sir.
you obviously don't know how to deal with confrontation in the real time. So you're opting to do it through text because
That's
you're
like
a
text
fucking
breakup.
you're a coward.
That's like breaking up over text.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Hey, I know
Being
somebody
broke up-
who did that.
I know a lot of people have done that.
I know somebody who did that, and then you turn around and done something to that somebody.
Yeah.
Recently,
I'm just saying.
very recently.
Oh, I didn't get to.
I know you didn't get to, but you made it clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would have absolutely done it just for fucking
And I would have been okay with that.
shits and grins.
100%.
Just because.
No, actually, I probably wouldn't have because it was actually a rather nice individual
yeah,
and was
but,
very, very truthful
Yeah.
about. So, I was very understood and very respectful.
Yeah, but either way, I am not a fan of battling through text. I feel
No,
like that is
no.
the coward's way out of having a conversation. And when it comes to relationships, if you can't sit down with your significant other and work through your problems, like we were saying, and you revert to going to your friends, your family, and you're fucking bitching about it and looking for them for solutions. First of all, if you have a problem with the person you're in a relationship with, that's the person you need to have a conversation with.
Yes.
Period.
And if I look at period, yes, but
No,
at the same
there's
time,
no, nothing.
There is an
If you're
outlet.
looking for advice on how to handle the situation,
therapist.
okay, that's a mediator.
That's it. That's your only two courses of action.
Right.
It is the
But then-
individual that you are having the issue with,
Yeah.
or a mediator.
Right.
Your family and your friends are not mediators.
I don't care what anyone says. They're always going to be biased. If they say, I will
100%
mediate this for
biased.
you.
Nope.
No, bitch,
Nope.
you're not mediating
That is
nothing.
not what you consider mediator
No,
material.
that's not going to be a thing.
So you either have that A/B conversation, or you literally go to marriage
See
counseling,
your way out of it.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
You find some kind of way to talk about it. But the minute you bring in your friends or your family, truthfully, you can just about chalk that relationship up as done.
Hey, you know why 6 was afraid of 7?
I'm curious.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh my God, I think that's the best dad joke you've told yet. Oh, hell yes. Yes. 7, 8, 9. All right.
And on that,
And all I could think of was Quagmire there.
Yeah.
All right.
Giggity giggity. This is going to wrap it up for us here at Bourbon Sauce. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. The more you like and share, the better the chances are we can grow this channel. Plus, algorithms love it. Also, check out our Instagram page at www.instagram.com/bourbon sauce, where you can see clues on upcoming episodes as well as see photos that pertain to our podcast. And you can message us there. Give us real-time feedback. Interact with us. Hope you come back. Until next time, enjoy your favorite beverage and get sauced.
Cheers.